Hi, it's Lipstick Gal. Thank you so much for watching today. Let's talk about some April favorites. I didn't really think I had that much, and then I realized my bin is full. My bin is full. This is one of those products that I frequently forget how amazing it is until I'm like, panic. Okay, so I've got this breakout here. It's getting smaller, it's going away, but for the last week plus, the only thing that has been getting rid of the extreme bright, like redness was this. And this is one of those products that I think of it as concealer. If I put this all over my face like foundation, it is too much for me. This is Charlotte Tilbury's Airbrush Flawless Foundation. I have shade number 1, but this is one of those products that I will take like the smallest, like that's as much as I need to cover that blemish. And then I just start tapping it in. And the next thing you know, like all of the age spots underneath my hand here are gone. It's actually such a good shade match for me. And what's interesting is that a lot of other Charlotte foundations, like the Beautiful Skin Foundation, shade number 1 is actually just a little too yellow. They're not all exactly the same, which is interesting to me. Sometimes Charlotte's foundations can be a little too dark. This one, because I don't use it all over the face, is my like trusted go-to. Like when I have a blemish, I use a really high coverage foundation because I feel like it hangs on a little bit better than concealer. The foundation I've been wearing this month that has really impressed me is this guy right here. This is the True Match from L'Oreal. Okay, for years I was like, I am not spending whatever, $9.99 or $12.99 or whatever it was to get the little guy in the like the little spherical bottle with a little teeny tiny round silver cap. I was like, gone are the years of pouring a concealer or foundation out into my hand. I don't do that anymore. Everything should come with a pump. And then they repackaged. And oh my goodness, I finally tried True Match and it's so good. I wear the lightest neutral shade. This is N0.5. They have I think a C0.5 and a W0.5 for cool and warm, but I wear the neutral one. This is a perfect shade match for me. I really like it. Of course, love the pump. This is not nearly as high coverage as the Charlotte Tilbury, but when I put it on, my skin just looks glowy and beautiful. I'm not really wearing foundation today. I'm wearing just concealer where I need it, but I have been really enjoying this, and this wears really well on a day when I'm working. I work at a dentist's office, so I'm in and out of a mask. I don't have a mask on when I go and see the patient. When it's time to start working, I put a mask on. And sometimes foundations don't hold up very well to mask on, mask off, mask on, mask off. And I will get somewhere in my nose and my chin. This, I powder it pretty generously, and then I like top it with the Charlotte Tilbury, which by the way, this is like hairspray for your face. It does a really good job of keeping my makeup in place, but I find that this wears really well. And it doesn't end up looking dry, it doesn't end up aging me. It really looks beautiful and just like, it's not glowy and it's not matte. It's like that natural skin-like, it's pretty. I like it a lot. It's been working well for me. I have been reaching for this Givenchy Prisma Libre concealer quite a lot. And you know what's interesting is this is not the same shade as where is the foundation. You can see that these are not the same shade. This one here is a little bit darker, a little bit pinker, and this one's a little bit lighter and maybe a little bit more yellow, but they are both exactly the same shade on the bottom. They are both N95. Now, I don't know. This foundation is gorgeous on its own, but this is a non-workday foundation. I didn't reach for it much this month, but this I have been using a lot. And you know how I've been using it? As foundation, which is interesting to me. But this is really beautiful because I find that it is just enough coverage without being too much. It is really, really lovely, and it doesn't settle into, I didn't realize how much like dryness I had, corners of the nose, a little bit like right in here, some flakes above my eyebrows. I was like, wait, what? And other products were catching in it. This one didn't. And it is really pretty. It is so nice. But this is not a full coverage foundation. This was like medium, light medium. Because I feel like this is one of those where if I don't wear any corrector and I put just this underneath my eyes, you'll see nothing but dark circles. I mean, it's slightly improved, but not a lot. But this looks so beautiful and is so skin-like. I've been reaching for this a lot. I was sure that this whole, you know, luxury foundation, concealer, powder, no, actually these Givenchy products have been really good. But this is the one that out of all three of the ones that I got the Prisma Libre powder and the, whatever it is, this foundation, the Skin Caring Glow. But this has been great. This is kind of new though. They released this, I think, in February or March. Been loving. I've had this for just over a week. And I know. Over a week is not enough to say whether it's a favorite for like a full month. And you'll probably see it again next month, but this is the new Tom Ford Traceless Soft Matte Concealer. I have the lightest shade in Blanc. It's what I'm wearing underneath my eyes today. Now somebody said in the video where I was talking about what I wanted to get during the Sephora sale, they were like, don't get that Tom Ford concealer for $60 unless you're willing to be ruined for the rest of your life and never want to use anything else. I see why. Okay, here's what I've learned. I usually use a corrector underneath my eyes. Where's the one I normally use? The one from Beauty Pie. Love this, the Super Luminous Under Eye Genius. I love it so much, I hit pan. I need to order another one because I don't want to be out of this. But this is what I normally put underneath my eyes. First time I tried this, I will link the video for you here. I didn't put any corrector on. I wanted to see what this could do on its own. And I like this best when I don't have anything else underneath it, because it is one of those products that as you rub it in, it has just enough like softness to it. It's not emollient, it's not, but I find that when there's something else under it that's a little more hydrating, this tends to settle more into the creases. Without that hydrating layer underneath, this does not settle in creases and it stays right where you put it. This is amazing. Love. And I'm really glad I got the lightest shade because it is brightening. It's what I'm wearing today. This is like, I'm sure I'm going to burn through this and we're going to need another one. Something that the jury's still out. It's another Beauty Pie product and it comes in a similar little container to the Under Eye Genius that I love so much. But this right here is a Super Luminous Redness Corrector. This is the shade green. This is the same consistency as this product that I love. So it's really emollient. And you best believe that when I was trying to knock down the redness to this, like, it's seriously pigmented. I've been using this for about 2 weeks and it's, it almost gives so much green. You need the smallest amount because if not, it ends up looking green. Then you have to use a lot of concealer, a lot of foundation. Do you see how this almost looks a little bit more yellow over here? It has more of a green cast to it. I feel like it's maybe too green. And maybe I'm using too much of it, most likely, but my goal is to take down some of the redness that I have. I have redness around the corners of my nose, right across, like some splotchiness across the tops of my cheeks. And then redness, like usually I'll have a little bit like right down here. I want to take that down just a notch without like full face. And I feel like I'm more successful with taking down redness when I'm using like a concealer as opposed to this green corrector. I still have to keep trying it. It's not in stock and it was one of those member only exclusives. I'm glad I picked it up, but jury's still out on this. I don't know. It may not be as fabuloso as the Under Eye Genius. This look that I'm wearing today is very indicative of the type of makeup I've been wearing this entire month. Like one eyeshadow, like super easy, but a lot of blush, a lot of cheek products. I have really been leaning hard into cheek products. And oh my goodness, I'm so glad I figured out how to layer cream over powder. I've been doing that all month. I think part of it is making sure the formula is not too emollient, but my favorite ones have been these guys. These are the So Soft blushes from M Cosmetics. I got a new shade. Oh, okay. So this is a shade they recently released this year. This is the shade Demure. It's what I'm wearing today. Isn't she stunning? Okay, so this formula is, for me, is the easiest cream formula to blend because like with no effort, boom, just like perfect blend every time. Another shade I've been reaching for a lot this month is this one. It's a lot deeper. This one is called Bitten, and I have to be careful with this because like, do you see like the difference in intensity between these two? But I love this. Like I need the smallest amount because I like it when it looks like this. It looks gorgeous on the lips too. That's what I like about these. But they're so easy to blend. I like it a little bit better like this. But these are fantastic. They have an amazing bronzer. I have a bronzer and a contour in this same formula. If you have not tried these, they're so good. Now, another formula that I'm head over heels for and was part of a recent Sephora haul is this. This is the Myrick's Yummy Skin Flushed Balm. Okay, so this is the shade Roseanne Brunch. It's so pretty. And it's another one of those that's soft, that's matte, that's not too much, but it has a little bit of peach to it. Do you see this? So this one's definitely more of like a nude pink, almost like a Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk, if you will. This one's definitely more of a bright reddish shade, and this one here is gorgeous. I have this also in the shade Golden Hour. Oh, she's quite a shade. Let me put her over here. But this is one where I have to be careful because it's not even blended very well. I need to blend it. I cannot just like dip in like without extreme care because it's such a, I like to wear it like this, but it does come up like, you got to be careful with these ones from Danessa. They are so pigmented. The ones from M are pigmented too, but I feel like they are not, I don't know, maybe it's just this shade right here. The Roseanne Brunch one is a little bit easier for me to use, but I feel like between the two formulas, I still prefer the ones from M, but they're not as easy to come by. You have to like go to the M Cosmetics website. If you are ever in Sephora, there are a lot of brick and mortar Sephoras that sell Danessa Myricks in store, if not the full line, at least like the new stuff, and I'm sure you would see these everywhere. But really have been loving this formula, and blush is really what I've been hanging my hat on this month. I also picked up 2 more of the cream cheek products from Beauty Pie. These are their Super Cheek. This is Red Light, and this here is Blazed Apple. I was sure that Red Light was going to be like my perfect red. It's too red. I am too fair to wear a shade this red. I have to be really careful with it, and it leans very much like a pinky red, almost a little bit blue. But this shade here in Blazed Apple, it is such a flattering shade on my cheeks. I love it so much. So you have definitely a cooler color here, a warmer color here. This formula is really nice. I find that it's a little bit more emollient. The ones from M, the ones from Danessa Myricks are not quite as emollient. These have a natural shine to them. I think you can see it a little bit here. You kind of, when you blend these out, you do end up seeing a little bit of shine on the skin. The other ones are definitely more matte, but I have been enjoying that as well. I got one of the new Pat McGrath bronzers. This is the one I'm wearing today. This is stunning. This one, by the way, is the shade Nude Honey. I don't think Nude Honey is the lightest. And maybe I should have gotten the lightest. I think this is the neutral fair shade. I think there is one that's a little bit lighter, but it leans more bronze. And I find that I really prefer more neutral leaning bronzers. This one is so pretty. Don't think that this is not still kind of like a warm bronzy powder. It is. It's just not as warm, or maybe should we say orange leaning, as some other ones that I have. And that's kind of been my preference recently, is more neutral and less to that. Speaking to that, here's another one that I've been reaching for a lot. Now, I was watching Khaki the other day. If you are not familiar with, I think it's Hey Khaki, I will leave her channel down below, but she was talking about using this. This is the lightest duo from Victoria Beckham. This is the Bronzing Brick in 01. And I always thought, like, what is this color for? I mean, like, it's hardly anything. You know what she said she does? She says she takes it and she uses it to kind of help with the color between like the under eye and the top of the cheek. And I was like, wait, what? Because sometimes it looks like I have like a huge, like really white under eye area. And I started doing this and I felt like my transition from one area to the next was so much better. I also have been taking it like right down in here, where sometimes my blush can get a little too far forward, and then it's just fantastic. I do love this deeper shade in here, but I have been reaching into this light shade because at first I was like, what do I do with that? You can hardly see it, but it's perfect just to make sure some of those transitions are just a little bit more seamless. Another thing I've only had for about a week, but I am head over heels. This is the Gucci Soleil bronzer. Now, I've seen reviews where I think like Teresa is Dead is like, it's the worst bronzer ever, but she's so pretty. She like stays around just for the, I mean, it is gorgeous. It's so pretty, but I actually really like it. I have the lightest shade. This is again 01, but for me, it's basically that it's kind of like a slightly pink leaning bronze. This is the one here from Pat McGrath, and this is the one from Gucci, and you can see it. This one's just a little bit rosier. It's a little bit lighter. They're both really light and work well on my fair skin, but this one is just screaming for me to use it as like my only cheek product. Like no blush, no highlight, just a light wash of this, and like abundantly everywhere. I have really liked this, and I am not mad at myself for spending the, what, $65 on it. I did get it during the sale, so it was on sale, but I could see myself repurchasing this because it is just that good. So earlier I mentioned that I have been like one eyeshadow all month long. I feel like that happens a lot to me in the wintertime, like January, February, like after the holidays, everything gets really simplified because I've like gone too far, too much with makeup, with like everything. I need things that are easier. And then, you know, it's cold, it's wet, it's snowy, and I'm just like, I can't be bothered. And normally by this point in spring, like it's the end of April, and I'm still just like, easy one shadow looks, and maybe it's the ease of it. I don't know. So the shadows I have been loving, like you can see here, these two liquid Lurexes from Lisa Eldridge are huge favorites of mine. The shade that I have used the most is Bianca. Stunning. And the one, like not many of these, because I have so much eyeshadow, the fact that there's an air gap in any of these really shows you, you know, yeah, these are the ones that I'm using. This one here in Emily is my next most used. Let me blend these out really quick for you. Here's Bianca and here's Emily, but just look how stunning those are. Like that, like a light wash all over the lid. Like even my fingers look so pretty. This is what I've been doing because I don't want to spend too much time. Another one that has been a huge hit for me are the eye lights from RMS. I have two of these, but this one here in Strobe is the one I use the most. You need the smallest amount. This is not the smallest amount, it is way too much. So I find the difference in the formula. This one here from RMS has more of a soft shine, and these guys definitely have glitter in them. If you're looking for no glitter but a little bit of metallic shine, you would like the ones from RMS. I find that if I don't have anything on my eyelid, like there cannot be any sunscreen, there cannot be any like eye serum, it needs to be like completely bare. That's when these guys go all day, no flaking, no crumbling, no creasing. Fantastic. Okay, here's one that needs a little babysitting. This is the one that I'm wearing today, but this is the Cosmic Pearl Dewy Eyeshadow from M Cosmetics. I have two of these. I have this one here in Moonrise, and I have the shade Wish, but this is the one, I have it on today, that is just like stunning, but I always put it on as a light wash. Now, the reason this one needs a little bit of babysitting, I always find that no matter how careful I am in making sure that I carefully blend things in, I let them set, this one always just a little bit settles into the crease. Like, you know, 3 or 4 hours later, I'll find that it's in the crease. It's not too bad right now. And I'll just take the time and just kind of like tap it out, boop, boop, and it's back to beautiful for another 3 or 4 hours. I really love this, and I like that I can put it on with my finger. It is, I think out of all of these eyeshadows, the one that takes a little hand holding or babysitting, but I love this shade so much. I mean, like, look how pretty it is. Stunning. Love these so much. Two mascara formulas that I have really been loving this month. One that I kind of rediscovered in my collection, I put it in my daily makeup bin for April, is this. I love this. This is the Lash Prototype from Make. I've had it for a while. I love with my whole heart. Okay, so I'm wearing it today. This does an excellent job of giving me length. Let me just look up so you can see. It gives me length. It gives me volume. It never gets too goopy. I mean, it is kind of one of those more traditional, like, spoolie type brushes, but I feel like I'm getting just the right amount of product. Not too much, not too little, doesn't flake, doesn't smudge, wears beautifully all day, but this is not what I can wear on a work day. On a work day, I exclusively wear a tubing mascara, and I started trying one that I had not tried before, and I was so brass. This is the Cali Ray, and I don't like the name, but it's come hell or high water. This is just a sample size, but I would be willing to get this in a full size. I do have a lot of other tubing mascaras right now, so it would probably have to wait, but I like the same, it has the same sort of brush as the one from Make. It has a really great ability to lengthen, to volumize. It's just really nice. It holds a curl really well. It builds on itself. Not all tubing mascaras build on themselves. I can get this one to build, but I can't let it dry. I have to like keep brushing and brushing and brushing and brushing until I'm happy. And then I go to the other eye. Because if I do this and come back, not good. And I find that's true with most tubing mascaras. You just kind of want to keep going until you're happy where you're at. This one, really nice. All that I have left for makeup is lipsticks. Okay, so I have really been loving kind of like a sheer, shiny, glossy situation. And I am still really head over heels for these. Very affordable. These are from Wet n Wild. These are the Rose Comforting Lip Colors. I have 3 of these, but these are the 2 that I reach for the most. So this one here is Cherry Syrup, and it's so pretty. It's a sheer glossy red. Easy to wear, fabulous. Even on a work day, I'll have this on. And yeah, it can get a little smudgy around the edge, but it's not too pigmented, so it's not that big a deal. This is the one I reach for the most. And this one here is called Taffy Daddy. This one has lived in my scrubs pocket so much that it has actually, the lid is cracked. And that's the one thing I don't like about this. I feel like the packaging is like chintzy, like really bad. Because at this point, now that I have a crack in the lid right here, when I put it on, it still holds on, but just barely. And when this gets put in my scrubs pocket at work, I'll reach in to grab it later and it'll be like this. Or I'll put it in my purse and it'll be like this. So I feel like the packaging for these, I know it's an affordable product. The product itself is so good. I like that it only comes up a little bit at a time. It just click, 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 click. You cannot roll these back down. Once they're up, they're up. If they could just solve this one thing, this one point of pain for me where this clear plastic lid is like so flimsy, this would be like one of the best glossy situations at the drugstore. Love. Can you see how close to being done with both of these I am? This is my favorite lip gloss formula. This is the Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil from Beauty Pie. I love this formula. I have loved it for years. And these are 2 shades. I'm trying to finish, but not trying to finish because they're not making this one anymore. And this is my favorite. This is the shade Jammy. I got a new kind of reddish shade called Cherry-O. It's okay. I still like this one better. But what I love about this formula, they're super shiny. They have a wonderful, nourishing feel on the lips. I've talked about these so much. I think the formula is not just good, it's amazing. My criteria is I want it to stay glossy. I want it to stay where I put it. I don't want it kind of like bleeding out everywhere. I also want to make sure that it's not a really heavy like formula that kind of sinks into the corners and it kind of puddles there. Another one of my personal pet peeves is when I'm talking, if the product is really thick and it sticks to itself when my lips come together, I'm going to have some of that stringy situation. I don't like that either. These don't do any of that. The colors are sheer and pretty. They're glossy. They are nourishing. They're more gloss than oil, but they're called the Wonder Gloss Collagen Lip Oil. I would say they're more glossy, but they're really nice and they're so comfortable on the lips. So comfortable, so comfortable. I have loved every single one of these that I have. I still have Spicy Pink. I still have Cherry-O. These are great. They don't make this shade anymore. And this one here is Sun Haze. This was a limited edition shade. I think though, I saw an email that they're bringing back some new shades of this for summer. Sun Hazed might be one of them. I don't know. It looked like this shade. I don't know for sure, but they're bringing something out that's even a little peachier. All right, another product that I've been liking that's sheer and glossy is this. This is the one product I picked up during the 21 Days of Beauty at Ulta. This is the Maracuja Juicy Lip, and this is the plumping version. This right here is the shade. What shade is this? I wish the packaging didn't have stickers on it because the cap here has kind of like an indentation and this bottom part isn't completely flat. It's like a little bit domed. So the sticker they had on here, I don't know where it is. It's gone. But this is something peach. It's like a nude peach or beige peach. I feel like it's a little brown for my taste, but when it's sheared out, it's really pretty. and it's very comfortable. For me, I am putting it in my scrubs pocket at work, and who knows, maybe the sticker came off in my scrubs pocket. But this is one that I have been reaching for all month long at work because it's comfortable, just the same as Taffy Daddy. These two I feel are very similar in what they look like on, except for like the way that they look, except for this one is a little bit different shade wise and is a little bit thicker overall and does have a little bit of that plumping feel to it. Somebody has continued to remind me in my comment section that I need to try the City Lips plumping lip glosses. So there was a sale happening, I think at the end of March, you know, buy one, get one free, the clear one. And I did. They're $35. That's a very expensive lip gloss, but I heard nothing but good things about this. This formula is supposed to like make your lip lines look less obvious and give you kind of that fuller look because there's hyaluronic acid in here. I like that it doesn't ever really feel like my lips are kind of tingling. It doesn't have kind of like a cooling or a burning sensation. It just goes on and it's like super comfy. I feel like things like the Too Faced Lip Injection, that's a lot of commitment for me. And I'm more likely to reach for something like this. But this is what it looks like. This is just a clear gloss. I don't know if you can tell I've been holding it, but I'm halfway through. I don't know, I'm halfway through. The one thing that I'm struggling with is if I over apply, it does what I don't like, which is it gets a little stringy. And I do find that if I put on a layer and I'm in it for a while without reapplying, sometimes I can get that like weird white line. I have been using this like under my mask at work. I have been using this and I might just start doing it this way at night because I can put a layer of this on and wake up in the morning and my lips still have a layer of this on and they are soft and pillowy. It is a little on the sticky side. If you don't like sticky things, you may not like this, but I don't know. Verdict's still out, but I have been reaching for it a ton this month, which is why it's here in my favorites. I'm trying to think about the rest of the things that I have really been loving this month. First of all, I love that it's sunny. I love that even though it was raining earlier today, I can actually be wearing like short sleeves and I'm not freezing in the house. Thank goodness for springtime. It's warming up. Hooray, hooray. I read a book this month that had me like, was like holding my face and I couldn't turn away. It was so good, but also so hard to read. So hard to read. It was called The Four Winds. And it's by Kristen Hanna. I read The Nightingale that she had written and I loved that book. And so then I picked this one up. This is one of her newer books. I think this one was published in 2020, but it's based on the Depression and the Dust Bowl. So like two really difficult periods in American history. It's the story of a woman who kind of overcomes all of these obstacles and through sheer force of will and love of her family makes really, really bold choices. And I resonated with that because all the women in my family on my mom's side, my mom, my grandma, my great-grandma, very, very strong women. And this character was born and raised in Texas and my mom's family is from Texas. And so there was that little bit of connection there. I grew up in California and part of the story takes place in California in the San Joaquin Valley where I grew up. And so I felt kind of connected based on my experience and knowing where my family came from, but also going through this really gut-wrenching, difficult time. Oh my goodness, it was one of those books where I was like, I can't read anymore. Wait, what happens? Like I couldn't stop reading it. It was so good and so compelling. But just be prepared for like one bad thing after another after another. I feel like, you know, the whole series of unfortunate events. I know that's a title of a completely different series, but that's like what this book was. Just like, what? What else could happen? But it was so beautifully written and so lovingly written, I couldn't stop reading it. One of the shows my family and I have fallen in love with, and I don't know how we didn't know about it before, is Schmigadoon. Now, I will tell you, I am unabashedly a lover of musicals. Love musicals. And my kids love musicals. And even my husband loves musicals. He used to be in a lot of musicals when he was in high school, high school drama department. So we love musicals in our house and I'm forever making my kids watch musicals from like the 40s and the 50s and the 60s so that they kind of know like all of the stuff that they're living right now, like Hamilton and other stuff, like guess what? Before there was Wicked, before there was Hamilton, there was this wonderful musical called, so I'm introducing them to all of these things. And there's this show on Apple TV. I had no idea about it. And it's a show about people who get stuck in a musical. And it's hilarious. It's hilarious. The first season is called Schmigadoon. And it's based on that premise from Brigadoon, like where it only, like you can only find it once every 100 years and you can never find it again. But they walk into this world, they're walking through the woods and they walk into this world of where people are like, happily singing about all of these things. And it very much harkens back to those, I would say, the musicals from the maybe 40s and 50s. Ones that you probably would have seen on Broadway, and definitely ones that got turned into movies. Those were all the ones I grew up seeing. And then season 2 starts and the times have changed and they're looking for Schmigadoon again and they can't find it. And they're in Schmicago. It's like all of the musicals from the 60s and 70s. Oh, it's so good. We got a little Sweeney Todd, we got a little Chicago, we got a little Hair, like all of the different, it's so good. I can't wait. The performances are epic. They're so good, so good, so good. But if you love musicals and you love comedies, check out Schmigadoon. It's available on Apple TV. My whole family has been dying. Like we're waiting like a new one every Wednesday. And like, kids, do you have your homework done? Because it's Schmigadoon tonight. That's how excited we've been in our family and all of us have been loving it. I would love to know what your favorites have been. Remember, it doesn't have to be beauty related. It could be a TV show. It could be a book. It could be your favorite meal. It could be your favorite snack. I love a snack. Let me know in the comment section down below. Thank you. Thank you so much for watching. Have an incredible day and I will see you again soon. Bye.